Tonight on Incensed Podcast.
About to do the same thing, Marky. Tonight, the live stream hasn't gone live.
Yeah.
We faff around working out what's wrong.
Yeah.
And Ian throws his Mac out of the window.
I just got a pop-up saying we can't access your video. Yeah, it says we can't. Oh, I'm back.
Ian.
Welcome back.
Yes, my video is showing. Okay, good. Nice to see you.
Noise. So I can't imagine Bruce Forsyth ever having gone, noise.
Noise.
That would have been a very different opening to Strictly Come Dancing.
Tonight on Strictly Come Dancing.
Nice to see you, noise.
Nice to see you, nice. God rest his soul.
You're our Bruce Forsyth, Mark.
Yeah. I'll just grow my chin a little bit more, we'll be there. Oh, good game.
Mr. Game.
Yes. It is Mr. Game. I don't know if there's a gel for chins.
We need some downage on it.
You need a really heavy weight to carry around on com days that, stretches your jawline.
Stretches your jawline.
Oh, who was doing the close? Are you doing the close for this one, Ian?
It's my show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is it actually your show?
It is actually my show.
It's so weird.
It's the only actual hosted show in this whole month.
So peculiar what we're doing at the moment.
Right, I am just going to go and refresh myself. I'll be back.
I thought you said I was just about to relieve myself. I'll be back.
Well, that's one way of looking at it.
That's precisely what I meant without saying it.
Ian.
This week on Incensed Podcast, 2023's first 2 Pokémon GOFests are complete, memories have been made, and we did a thing, recorded a live show in London. Welcome back to the Incensed Podcast. This is episode 131. We will be reviewing only London's Pokémon GOFest because, well, that's the only one we went to. I'm Ian Waterfall, and here with me this week are Masterful27 and Pogo Milo UK. Boys, have we recovered?
We've recovered and then picked up a filthy cold, which is great.
Yes.
So not quite sure. I blame the many bus journeys. We did.
The bus journeys actually maybe, but probably more so the underground. That was a lot busier.
Potentially.
I had one of those home testing kits, and I'm really stuffed up. And it's got an element of N-Ookums on it as well. I don't know what that is.
It's not H1N1.
wow.
I find out who that
it's
is.
NUK.
We love you really, mate, but yeah,
We're only messing.
I'm stuffy.
So I'm the only one that's actually quite healthy then out of the three of us. And yes, I said
You are.
3 of us yet again.
There's no surprise there. We promise he will actually be on the show at some point this month.
Next week. He'll definitely be on next
He
week.
can't avoid that one.
No, we can't. We didn't record that one a month ago.
How are you doing, Vassafal, after it was a very Vassafal-y Saturday?
You know what? I'm going to have to tell this story because we've all had a laugh about it. And it's only right that the rest of the world should laugh about it too. So I left Ealing to head back home at 11 p.m. on Sunday night.
You did 2 really stupid things over the weekend.
I did, and we'll talk about the other one later. So I left Ealing at 11 o'clock after going out for a meal with some people that, you know what, I don't see that often. So we went out, had a really nice meal in
live life.
what turned out to be a hotel, not a bar.
Hotels have bars.
The food was good. So left Ealing to drive home, dropped Masterful27 off at his hotel on the way, and got about maybe 12, 15 miles out of Ealing when I remembered that I'd left my camera on Milo's kitchen counter.
And then proceeded to phone me up.
So
If I left my camera at yours, and I was so knackered I'd just about gone to bed, and I got up and went over to the kitchen and I was like, oh yeah, there's a sodding great lens and this microphone on here. I was like, oh
the thing
my
is, it had been
God.
bothering me for about 15 minutes, and I thought, well, I can't stop. I remember putting 2 bags in the car, but I don't remember Mark having a camera because I didn't tell him to pick it up. So when I phoned you, I could leave it to community day, but then it's asking you, a lot of you, to bring 2 cameras, charge my battery up, erase my memory card, and just generally prep my camera. So turned around, went back to Wheeling, which was another 25 minutes out of my way.
So you actually left Ealing at, what was it, 11:15 on Sunday evening?
20 past 11. And I got home slightly before 2 a.m. and was up at 5:45 to get ready for work. I had 3.5 hours sleep, which was the actual theme of the weekend. I think none of us slept more than 4 hours.
Not
from
really,
Thursday
with the edits
night
and everything.
onwards.
No, definitely not. I found myself on the Saturday evening going, I just want to go home now. And I'm going, no, don't be like that. This is what this is all about. It's worth it because it'll be over before you know it. And then we'll all be like, oh, it's done, the London event. But it was hard, boys. Also, I went back to work today feeling more tired. When you, in essence, having 4 days off, you should feel a bit refreshed.
I went back to work for
5 days off.
Wasn't really 4 days off.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was 4 days on maximum sort of performance. Yeah, I think I need a full service after this. But anyway, Pogo Milo UK has given me a time check and given me the hint that, listeners, it's time to...
Pop your Incensed as champions. Let's go.
That is right. Thank you, Zoe. Hope you enjoyed Osaka, and we'll see you next week in New York City. And don't forget, if you get anything at all that you want to show us, tell us about, flex, you can reach us on any or all of our socials. That is X, Instagram, Threads. Yeah, we're kind of still on that other one that nobody uses. I can't remember what it's called now.
It's something like Maston, isn't it? I know he's
Maston.
I know he's a supporter, but it's something along those lines, isn't it?
Yeah, what is it? Because Hive is the other one. We're still on it. We haven't used it since about week 1. But we're still...
Mastodon. That's it.
Mastodon, that's another one. We're not on that one.
No.
Unless...
Mastodon? What the hell is
It's the thing that
Mastodon?
everyone was like, oh my God, Elon's bought Twitter. Let's go to this really random
And we're
thing.
not on, is it Truth? We're not on that one either. But WhatsApp as well, if you want to tell us what you got, and then we can hear your beautiful little voice on our podcast. And the hashtag that you need to tag us with is hashtag Shiners of the Week.
Could you clarify that spelling?
It is SHINIESOFTHEWEEK. With all that said and done, Zoe, what time is it?
And now, children, it's time for Getting to Know You with the Incensed podcast.
Okay, so getting to know you, I figured after, well, the shenanigans and the hustle and bustle of the weekend, I didn't want to tax you guys too much with this question. And since a certain casual isn't with us who doesn't drive, I can actually ask this question without having to go,
Hallelujah.
Oh, I don't drive.
So, boys, what is your must-have go-to snack on a road trip?
I'm going to echo what Senor Casual might have said. I really like this question, and I'm proud that
you.
you've actually asked it.
Well, we've talked about road trips before. We've never really talked about snacks on road
I
trips.
know, we're sort of diving into the specifics.
Yes.
Snacks on a road trip, particularly if it's a long one, are an absolute must. And I don't know about you guys, I tend to like get a range of stuff,
Yep.
Yeah.
including some much required hydration, probably some Vasa. It's definitely needed.
Bit of faster.
But my preferred snack, I really like the flapjacks that you can get from Marks and Spencer's in the tub, like the pot that you can get.
Okay.
I know the ones.
Yeah.
I know
Because
the
they're
ones
so
you mean.
easy to like have around in the car. Yeah, you can seal them up and everything. They're not going to crumble everywhere. It's not like eating chocolate bars constantly. So they're a little bit. I won't say healthy, but they're less.
Yeah, flapjacks
unhealthy.
aren't really healthy.
No,
the
but they're
chocolate,
less
no.
unhealthy, I would say, in that sort of way.
I like that technical term there, wasn't it? He was playing on a real technicality there.
That's my preferred go-to snack, but I tend to get a range. I'll get some crisps, I get a few bits of chocolate, some mints, things like that. I like a
Mince.
selection.
Will you make a burger while you're driving?
Yes. Do you not know I want to work in a mince factory when I grow up?
You did actually say you wanted to work in a
I
mince
did,
factory
yeah.
the other week.
I said
You
like
did?
at some point you'd die in a mince factory or whatever.
Oh, we don't want to die in a mince
No, no,
factory,
no, I don't
You
Milo.
could end up
anybody
in the
wants to go
burger,
that
it'd be
way.
Milo meat.
Meaty
Milo
Milo.
meat, yeah.
Don't want that. Medium grilled, lovely. But I'd say flapjacks for me. Anyway, Marky, what sort of snack are you preferring?
I'm very simple when it comes to travelling in the car. I like the idea of those bags of sweets. I don't like the little chocolate bar or the little flapjack on its own. A bit like you said, Milo, a tub of
When you've got a
flapjacks,
quantity.
M&S. Know the ones you mean. Quantity in there, and I've just got an absolute wanton addiction to wine gums, and I love wine gums. They don't melt. They all taste really nice, in my opinion, obviously. They last quite
True.
a while. Wine gums are great. I think they're actually healthy and they're good for you as well. I mean, I can't prove that, but I'm
pretty sure they're not.
Very, very nice.
They're a gelatin-based snack.
With loads of
Exactly.
sugar.
Straws and clutching at. But yeah, I'm hoping that when we put this to the poll, more people have heard of wine gums and M&S flapjack tins.
Well, that's my specific chosen one, but I'm pretty sure everyone's heard of a flapjack.
Edgar hasn't, if you'd like to elaborate.
It's like oats and stuff. I don't know. I don't know.
and stuff.
So your own range of flapjacks would be Oats and Stuff by Milo.
Oats
Oats and stuff.
by
That'd be
Milo.
quite a good title, wouldn't it? For a
Like
for
a cereal
brand.
bar, I would guess, or something like that.
Something along
Yeah,
those
yeah,
lines,
yeah.
yeah. But I don't know about you, Marky, but when I find that if I have wine gums or any other kind of confectionery, even if it's like meant for a really long journey, once I've opened the bag, they're gone inside of 10 minutes. I cannot stop.
100%.
I inhale them.
100%.
Inhale them, don't you? It's like,
I was like, that was
they've
meant to
gone.
last
Ah,
200
bugger.
miles. Oh, it's gone inside of like 20 minutes. Whoops.
Absolutely, mate. Go on, Ian. Enlighten
Can't
us.
say Vassar.
Can't say Vasa.
Because I'm the healthy one of the three of us. But my go-to snack, and you can get these in the UK, but they're slightly different in at like the UK size, so they're smaller. Cheetos, basic like big cheesy puff crisps, like
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
big FO bag of them that I can just graze on and grab. And in America, literally, they're huge.
I know, they're massive.
Can I ask a stupid
Absolutely.
question, Ian, before Milo jumps in
No
there?
stupid questions.
Do you not find there a pain with your cheesy hands when you
Yeah,
just
they
gonna
kind
say.
of discolor.
just
They go
gonna
like
say
orange, yes.
yeah, all over your steering wheel and your gear stick.
Well,
That's
driving
why
with
you've
the
always
palms
used
of
your
your hands.
non-driving hand to do it. And if you're in America, you have an automatic car, so you don't need to worry about gears.
Do you have to go along sucking your fingers to clean?
Yes.
Oh,
I literally do, yes. Would you?
Ian.
I wouldn't have them.
I can't eat anything like that when I'm driving. 'Cause
Yeah,
I don't
it's
like
the-
that.
it's the
Seriously,
crisp
there's always
stuff.
a
It's
bag
gonna be
there
messy.
right on the centre console. But you are right, they don't. You get a bag that you think, a huge bag you think it's going to last you for like 3 hours, and it lasts you for more like 3 minutes. So 3 interesting answers. We've got one supposedly healthy option from Milo, one
said
supposedly healthy
less
option from
unhealthy.
Mark, and then me with the big chemically filled crisps.
My old worry would always be with a big bag of crisps is that the wind is going to whip up with my roof down and some person behind me is going to get Cheetos all across their windscreen. So it's like, oh, my snack's
Wouldn't
gone.
that be cool? I'd be more worried about the fact that I'd lost my snack than them hitting the car behind.
Yeah, that's my concern as well.
So we'll see who comes out victorious a little bit later in the show. But now I'm going to pass it over to our boy Marky.
Is the news.
As this episode drops, the Pokemon World Championships taking place in the wonderful Yokohama. The event takes place between August 11th to the 13th. Let's stop talking about the event which has been and gone as you're listening to the podcast. Let's talk about the event which is carrying on. Let's hope that you redeemed your codes whilst they were on and got your World's Tea grey colour shirt. But something which hasn't ended is a World Championship celebration in Pokemon GO. So from Friday, August 11th, running through to Tuesday, August the 15th at 8 p.m. local time, that's starting at 10 a.m. Pokemon GO is celebrating the 23 World Championships and All Things Go Battle League. Fear not, I hear a groan from most of our audience there. We will be getting a Pokemon debut. Passimian will be making its Pokemon GO debut, but it will not be shiny. However, there will be a new costumed Pokemon, and yes, you've guessed it, it will be World Championships Pikachu 2023.
So it's not a Beefeater this year.
It's not. It's a cool little Pokemon. Pikachu wearing a Pikachu shirt.
The
from what I can
Pikachu with
see.
ramen, I think it is. Yeah, it looks like it's eating ramen.
It does look like it's eating ramen.
JT will be happy.
It sure will be. And if you're lucky, you might encounter a shiny one. I wasn't sure, Milo, if it's Pikachu eating ramen or Pikachu spilt ramen down the front of his shirt.
Yes, he's trying to eat it or he is eating it. One of the two.
Oh dear, you definitely need a spoon when you're tackling that dish.
He's not holding,
There
he's
are
not
some
holding
event-
chopsticks, so it's probably was eating it.
There are event bonuses for this event. This is probably not going to appeal to most of our listeners, but hey, the maximum number of sets you can play per day will go up in the Go Battle League from 5 to 10.
Wow.
So double your fix. And Pokemon encountered via Go Battle League rewards will have a wider variance of attack, defense, and HP.
Wow.
There is a timed research, and the World Championships themed timed research will be available throughout the event. You can earn an Elite Fast TM, an encounter with a World Championships 2023 Pikachu, and more.
And I think that's actually probably worth it, actually, because it's
All
not
right.
going to be that taxing, and the elite TMs are very rare. if you don't want to spend a fortune on boxes.
Yeah, just hope it isn't winning GBL.
It will be winning GBL.
No, battle in GBL. Take your level 1s
If it's
in.
just battle, that's fine. Yeah.
Some
yeah.
leaks on the code in the game, and from what I can see, you need to win 500 GBL
Oh,
battles,
dear God.
and you also get 7.5 hyper potions.
7.5.
But you only get 10 sets, so good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Ian, you're absolutely right. You can't actually get to that number. But anyway,
Trainers, that's not actually happening. We're winding you up.
but there are wild encounters which go alongside this event. And boys, should we tag team these? That'd be quite
Yeah, let's
nice,
do
wouldn't it? But starting off, you will encounter Matchup,
Chin Chow,
Whooper.
Sableye,
Meditite,
Spheal.
Drillbur.
Shiny Scraggy.
It's been 84 years.
Oh,
I'm thinking, oh my god, how long have we been saying that one needs to be shiny for?
Literally, it feels like forever.
And it's not going to appear in eggs anymore.
the 12-kilometre egg pool is getting more and more shiny
Getting
by
more and
the
more
minute,
diluted, isn't it? It's going to be one of the
Yeah.
rarer hatches.
You're going to be hatching nothing but Sandile now.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
But fear not, you also have the potential to encounter Bunnelby.
And they can all be shiny alongside Scraggy. And the one that can't be is Wooloo. But that's not bad, because it's quite nice to catch those for that Kanji XL goodness. So,
Ooh,
very nice. And if you're lucky, I'd question that statement.
I thought
You
they
might
stopped saying that, actually.
they have.
Well, actually, it says, if you're lucky, you might encounter the following: Onyx or Lickitung. And it then says underneath, if you're lucky, you might encounter a shiny once if you're doubly
Wow.
lucky.
Just what everybody wants. One of the dehydrated urine-looking onyxes.
Thing is, this Onyx for this season feels like it's in 47 research tasks.
And it's boosted shiny as well. So.
Yeah.
It's concerning, isn't it? It is concerning.
But what else is concerning, Mark? Talk to us.
Right, you ready for this one? We've got 1-star raids.
Oh
They
my
are- They are my favourite part of any event.
That's all you was doing at GoFest, wasn't it?
Did they have
Maybe
level
not.
1
no,
raids?
they didn't. They're fives and
I never
megas.
saw one.
To be fair,
There was some actually. There was
1-star
some shadow raids, wasn't there?
But remote 1-star raids kind of went MIA, haven't they, over the last couple of events? But
Bless
they
them.
are back. Well, let's start with the rubbish here. You've got a Lowland Sandshrew, then Gligar. Gligar is a boosted shiny, so if you haven't got one, probably still don't raid for
If you
it.
haven't got
but-
one, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? I'm going to have to say, probably duration of it being in the game, World Championships Pikachu is probably the most desirable out of those. But
Yeah.
why are you going to raid for a full odds Championship Pikachu? Scraggy, obviously, once the new shiny drops, will be in the game forevermore. They are your 1-star raids, boys.
The 3-star raids really don't get any better. In tier 3 raids, you're going to have the options of Skarmory and Galarian Stunfisk, and the new non-shiny Persimmon.
Which seems to be the only way to get it, apart from field research encounters. And there are 8 different things, and one thing I can see is actually making me sick in my mouth, but let's move on.
Space
So-
Duck.
Let's not even talk about the Mega Raids and the Tier 5s are just plain old the same for now, and I think they switch over on the Wednesday anyway afterwards. Field research task encounters, much like London Worlds, the World Championships 2023 Pikachu will be featured in them, along with the 1-star raid boss Alolan Sandshrew, Seal, Magikarp, Galarian Zigzagoon, Spheal is also in here, just to be confusing, and then 2 non-shinies, the brand new Pokemon Passimian, and finally Wimpod, which I know is Wimpod and Golisopod got massive boosts in PvP, but just don't.
Why would you? So there are featured attacks. So these Pokemon will learn these moves during the event. We'll start with Alolan Sandslash. If you evolve Alolan Sandshrew during the event to get an Alolan Sandslash, it will know the fast attack Shadow Claw.
Yeah, and if you evolve Machoke into Machamp during the event, you'll get a Machamp that knows the charged attack payback.
If you do a field research task and get a Seal at your leisure, you can evolve it to Dugong, and it will get 2 moves, Ice Shard and Icy Wind.
Fortunately, it is a wild encounter as well, but if you
Sphere.
evolve Celio during the event to get a Warine, it will know the fast attack Powder Snow and the charged attack Icicle Spear.
And finally, if you evolve a Galarian Linoon during the event, you'll get an Obstagoon that knows the charge attack Obstruct.
Yay.
Yay. With all these things, you'd expect this, and there are avatar items available from the beginning on August 11th, 23, and the likelihood is these will stick around, I'd say, a little bit longer.
They'll stick around in the casuals
shop.
account, that's for sure.
They will. You can get the 2023 Worlds jersey and the 2023 Worlds jacket. And actually, I'll just confirm what we thought. It's actually using chopsticks to eat it. That's
the Pikachu's got
impressive.
chopsticks?
The Pikachu has got chopsticks.
It's using chopsticks to pick up liquid.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pikachu uses the fast attack solidify.
Suction.
Very
Looking
good.
at these two avatar items, the t-shirt and the jacket, actually both look pretty good. The avatar items do seem to be improving of late.
Yes, they look very cool.
They do, Ian. They do.
Is that a Pikachu? Is that JT Vela eating the ramen on the t-shirt?
Wow.
It's
Who knows?
it's a JT Valor in Pikachu clothing.
Well, if that was exciting, we do have another part of the news to cover. There's been a little headline appear on the Pokemon Go Live website under the news.
Nice.
Pokemon first discovered in the Paldea region are coming to Pokemon Go. So what do we know? It says a new adventure is on the horizon. Trainers, get ready to encounter even more Pokemon on your journey. Pokemon originally discovered in the Paldea. Is it Paldea? Was it Paldea?
Paldea, I
Paldean.
think.
Paldea.
Paldea region.
Paldea.
Let's go with that.
Paldea.
Spain.
Yeah. Paldea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spain.
Discovered in the Spanish region of the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet games. For Nintendo Switch are coming to Pokemon Go starting this September. Stay tuned for more details, but that signifies a new chapter to the game. That's exciting, isn't it? I didn't expect that to be dropped quite like that. Well, I mean, it makes sense, but
Interesting, to say the least. I mean, I'm fully down. Welcome a new gen. It's about time. But I know,
I'm
and I've
down.
seen it already on social
I'm
media.
down.
We can see and have our own opinion about it. People are going to be like,
Where's Generation 8?
and all of this sort of stuff. And it's like,
And
well,
it's fair. We've not finished Gen 6. We've not finished Gen 7. We've barely seen Gen 8. But I think now the last 4 generations are just going to drip feed them as they
they
see
really
fit.
are. And we know that Pokemon Go doesn't abide by a timeline of the main series games at all. It does its own thing.
Very
So,
true.
New Pokemon, it will be the 3 starters, probably Lechonk and a couple of the other common ones. Tarantula, I think it is, and Nimble, and maybe Pawmi are kind of the common ones.
Quite exciting, isn't it?
It is.
New
the
Pokemon's
Pidgey
always
and
exciting.
Rattata of Gen 9.
It'll be exciting for a very specific short
It'll be
period of time.
exciting for about 5 minutes when they drop.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at how they've treated the common stuff from Gen 8, Wooloo and Squovet. They've only just come back into the game.
That's true. They've been uber rare. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been 2 years hiatus, and now Wooloo's been in kind of like back-to-back events. Be aware that these Gen 9 Pokemon, they do drop in September. They may not be around for as long as we suspect, so chase them.
Fill your boots. Yeah. But that's the news. So there's something glistening in the background. It's time for...
Shiny Happy Pokémon, Shiny Happy Pokémon.
Indeed, and it's actually my pleasure to host this for the very first time ever.
Well, actually, yes, because I was Mr. Game last week, but because it's my show, I kind of had to delegate the role of
You
Sir
passed on
Game
the
to somebody
baton.
else. Yes.
Sir Game has been sidestepped.
Indeed, the baton has been passed along. Boys, it's a direct head-to-head. Of course, if you don't know how this game works, Shiny Happy Pokemon, I'm going to ask one of the other two in this case to name the colour of a specific part of a shiny Pokemon. So, for example, if I was going to say, what colour is the top half of Voltorb, you would hopefully say blue. It goes like that, and will go until one person is declared the winner.
And we'll see whose brain is actually functioning after the weekend.
Absolutely. And I think we might try and focus on some of the GoFest shinies, potentially. Since Masterful27 created this game, tell me, what colour are the feet and ears of Shiny Swirlix?
Brown?
Correct, sir. Very nice indeed. Vasafal, tell me, what colour is the face, the front bit of the face of Shiny Spritzy?
Purple.
I'm afraid that's wrong.
Oh, Ian.
The front face is pink.
Oh, the front. Oh, okay.
I did say the front face. I tried to specify. Sorry, that was a very quick game.
So that's it. Let's ask Mark an easy one, and let's ask Waterfall.
Easy one.
I didn't think so. They're tiny little bits on Swirlix.
That's the first time I played my created game, Milo.
It
I've
is.
played Shiny Happy Pokemon before.
You're usually the person hosting it, so congratulations on winning your own game. You won't be Sir Game next week because of our location difference. So it's back to Vasa.
Yes. I'm going to take the mantle back.
I'm a Vassafal in New York.
And I'm going to trip you all up, says Ian. And I'm going to trip you all up.
You know what? I'm bringing back the pub quiz for next week. So get studying, boys.
Pub quiz in the Bronx. Beautiful. But we've got to dive into this, Ian, haven't we?
We have. 4th and 6th of August in London, England, and Osaka, Japan, was the first 2 Pokemon Go Fests of this year, with 2 more to go. We went to the London one, the 3 of us, and there was a random casual for a few hours.
He's now been changed his name from Casual to Daxy Shadow.
Yes, Daxy Shadow Coops. So let's have a chat. We've got quite a few things to talk about, because when it was first announced, we all Brixton, that's a bit too close to Croydon for comfort. So let's talk about the park location. It surprised me. It was a lot better than I expected. Access to the park was pretty easy. There was a couple of tube stations nearby. There were buses going backwards and forwards, and all stopped pretty close to the park. The park actually was a very, very nice park, very multi-layered. Didn't help that the fact that we had a little bit of rain over the weekend, but all in all, actually...
A little bit.
Somebody else said that to me on X, but yeah, it was only a little bit. Come on, I've seen worse rain than that. God, you've only got to go to Florida during the summer.
Me too.
But great location. I actually enjoyed it. Didn't feel any different to any other GoFest park location, other than it wasn't as central as we probably would have liked.
For me, it brought back memories of Berlin and kind of where the park was situated in comparison to central Berlin. And again, a lot of people, and rightly, will say, well, just base yourself closer to it. And that's a very fair comment. But yeah, you've got to be safe in going to these live events. Safety of numbers is always an important thing. And we all decided to base ourselves with the community that we all know down in Ealing, which is great. You know, it worked really well. I was fairly impressed with the park. It was a lovely park.
Yeah.
It was a lovely park. We were day one players. I think they were still setting it up as we got there on day one. It had a feeling.
They literally were. Yeah.
Yeah, we were lucky to have been there on all 3 days, and maybe we didn't see the depth of the park because obviously we couldn't play it on those days. We were at a fixed location, and from watching some other sort of vlogs I have seen, it looked like the park filled out a bit more. Certainly Saturday was the busier day.
Saturday was rammed. Yes. Yeah.
But I would say it was nice to see the biomes very nicely spread out, but we're not going to delve into that yet. We'll talk about the park. The park was beautiful. The location, it didn't feel like you were in an area that might just have that sort of feeling about it. And I'm not going to be disrespectful to it because it could be like that in most areas. And actually, I've got to say, it felt pretty safe.
It did.
With all saying.
It really did.
Yeah. 100%. I've got to agree. I was very pleasantly surprised by the quality of the park itself and the way that they structured the biomes, where the facilities were. You didn't have to go too far to find the food, the drinks, the help desks, etc., and, you know, more importantly, the lavatories, the toilet facilities, etc. But the biomes themselves were really nicely laid out. They had some really fun little elements, sort of sculpture pieces to go at the center of them. Some were better than others. I personally really loved the Dark Jungle one with the sort of mysterious gem, like Indiana Jones style, with the smoke.
Well, that was the first one we encountered, wasn't it, as we walked into the park?
Yeah, because we came through the north entrance. That honestly was like, whoa, that looks really good. And then you go around, you're like, okay, the fairy garden's got some tall,
those, like,
big flowers.
Big flowers, yeah.
Yeah, they sort of
bubbles and that, bit mysterious, wasn't it? Like,
they sort of done a very...
There was no sad Jigglypuff at this one.
Oh yeah, no deflated Jigglypuff, but it did look like a sort of cut budget Chelsea Flower Show display.
Yeah.
Then I have to say probably my least favourite was the volcanic island where they just got like basically they'd taken just a rock face. But that's very, very minor criticism because in reality, we didn't really look at these things too much. We were like, let's play the game and enjoy ourselves and meet the people. But I was very pleasantly surprised by Brockwell Park. Ended up being a good choice, I think.
Agreed. Despite our initial reservations, we all said it. Brixton isn't the top choice for anyone that kind of knows London or South London, but I can't fault it, actually. Great location and a big park. A bigger park than I expected it to be.
Absolutely. Scale-wise, it was vastly bigger than I suspected. I was almost expecting something very heavily condensed, maybe like Seattle. But I do think Marky was probably correct. It was more like Berlin, a big expanse of a park and very well laid out and very well thought through. But obviously the main priority of being in the park was the park experience. We all went with Friday morning, our fair reasons of doing content, etc., and getting things done early, which required a very early start. It's a genuine point.
We went Friday for content. My video went live on Tuesday evening.
You can blame my top floor Wi-Fi.
I actually blame your top floor Wi-Fi.
But let's get back to the game. And I don't know about you guys. Ian and I experienced it in Seattle. Mark, you probably experienced it in Berlin last year at the GoFest. When you cross from one biome to the next, you had this bleed over of spawns where you might have said, oh, there's something like a Snorlax with a cowboy hat. I need to tap that. And then it goes, poof, disappears because you've gone to the next biome. This time around, it was a much more careful and gentle movement into the next biome, as it were. So there wasn't the spawns, you click them and they disappear. They still remained on the map, which is really, that was such a nice touch because you could have moved, something could have popped up on the lure next to you, behind you, you want it, you tap it, you get the shiny. I think that was a really good quality update.
Totally agree. In terms of the actual gameplay itself, everything you've said, I totally agree with. In terms of the cellular service, the gameplay was smooth. I've not seen gameplay this smooth at an IRL event since Seville last year. No network issues, no capacity issues, minor lag, but I'm talking really minor. It didn't happen often or for long. The gameplay was what you would expect. Nobody's expectations could have been like blasted out of proportion by this because there were literally no problems at all in London. I mean, the same can't be said, I believe, in Osaka, but for us, the gameplay was second to none. It was what you would expect anywhere you play the game. Cellular service across all major UK networks seemed very, very strong.
Very stable.
The one thing I liked about it visually on the map within the park experience was how the Pokestops had little graphics or animations next to them.
Yeah.
Sort of signalling the biome.
I liked that, but it confused me. I kept thinking there was something there to start with.
Look, I did as well, I did it. It took me. Yeah, I did as well, to be fair.
It took a bit of time to get used to it, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But I think they knocked it out the park, I love the increased incense effectiveness for non-ticketed players in the park. So I can imagine if you've got friends that you're going with and they've got a different game day and you want to meet up with them for a bite to eat at lunch, you can still play it to an aspect in the park with the incense.
Yeah,
we all got shiners on the incense on our non-game days, which was nice.
Kerry in the chat, Mark, has said she kept thinking that the things around Pokestops was unknown because of the way the graphics were.
Yeah.
And they did. That's so true. They did look like unknown at times, especially if you zoomed all the way out.
Dark Jungle, they were like vines, vines. So they did look like, is it an unknown something?
And that's actually a really nice segue there because I think Niantic have wizened on now to this unknown thing. And I'm not saying the trick doesn't work because it does still work. But at the top of each hour, it was a little bit disappointing that we didn't have the big depth of unknown spawns.
True.
It was very noticeable. But not all spawns were unknowns. You were lucky, even amongst the Pokestops, to maybe get 5 or 6 checks within the 2 minutes.
Totally, yep.
They've just kind of evened it out a little bit now. We've still got shiny unknowns at the end of the day.
From the outbreaks, people were still actually getting shinies from them, even though there were fewer spawns.
That was good. But yeah, all in all, I think the park experience was... And actually, do you know what? Let's have a quick shout out for the Garchomp wrap, everyone. How good was that?
Oh, that Garchomp wrap from the Greek place that they had there, that was beautiful.
Wasn't it?
One per day, and that was just the right amount of sustenance to keep you going.
The food and drink was really good. I like the fact that there wasn't long queues. It wasn't ridiculously expensive. And these are expensive events. We do understand how these things work.
And it's London, and they know you can't go anywhere else. So
captive audience. Well, it's not captive audience. You could have gone into Brixton, but if you were in the park experience, you're not going to want to go for.
But Mark is right.
Now.
Selection-wise, I mean, let's compare it to Vegas directly.
Oh, Vegas had about 4 options.
It's night and day. This had a really good range, Mark. You were right.
And there was 2 sets of food trucks because if you remember, we told Mark we'd meet him at the food trucks, and he went to the other entrance.
Oh, true. Yes. So there were multiple places.
Trucks. But I think we can have a nice little discussion then. So when the game day finished in the park and everything disappeared from the park, with the exception of the incense spawns,
including the Pokestops,
it forced us to get out of there and into the city. Boys, what were your immediate thoughts once we escaped the block.
Block of Brixton.
My immediate thought was, damn, I didn't finish my research.
Yes, because do you want to explain what happened?
Yes, so...
This is the other stupid thing he did over the weekend, listeners.
Yes, we alluded to this at the top of the show. So the other stupid thing I did was I got so engrossed playing the GoFest, talking to people, spending time with people, filming a vlog, so much so that I didn't finish my special research, which means I didn't catch Diancie.
Oh dear.
Now it's special research, so it will at some point, and I stress at some point, be released so that I can finish it. But currently, I'm still sat on stage 2 of 5, and I need to spin one more photo disc at the volcanic island. So, lesson learned, but I'll get my Diancie at some point, just not during the GoFest. I am now stacking up mythicals that I want to get geotagged with not local, so I've probably got about 3 now waiting to be gotten somewhere else.
Fancy.
But anyway, back to what Mark said. The city experience, the first thing I noticed is the actual blackout area, once you left the park, was actually quite big. It was about a mile in every direction. You really had to get away from the park. But once you did and the spawns started spawning, they were amazing. It was a free-for-all, which we've had at previous city experiences. And I think from what a lot of people were saying, we were getting probably more shinies outside of the park when we were doing our tour bus rides and hop-on, hop-offs or city buses to get back into Central than we were in the park.
I'd agree on that one. On our game day, there was a fear. Ian knew what I was like. I was there going, I haven't got my shiny Jupiler yet. Haven't got my air adapter with a satchel. Haven't got my Jupiler. Oh, dear goodness. And I'm like twitching a bit because I'm going, I'm not going to get these. But if I'd known what I know now, I'd have been a lot calmer. For people that had never done a city experience before, it was an amazing experience. It was a free-for-all. And it was a flipping good free-for-all. And the fact that we travelled an hour and a half to get there in West London and you can still get the spawns out there shows it was a wide old city experience. And I'd love to know the furthest point that anybody was playing it.
People were saying you could even get them outside of the M25, which is horrendous when you think about the distances.
It's really far, but to be fair, the Seattle city experience was also
that was about 20
enormous.
Miles.
Yeah, it was huge as well. So I wonder if they just bumped the same kind of radius onto this GoFest. 1 or 2 observations I would say about the city experience. It was a massive help that 95% of the Pokestops in the city were lured up constantly, which was really good for us and our...
Stop other podcasts.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They had these funky purple modules on them. Some of them might have been green and blue.
Yes,
I'm not sure what the item is, but they were on the Pokestop and you could get more Pokemon. Is that better?
I think so. And the Italian tripod is
so.
saying in the chat that one of his friends said the spawns were almost reached Reading.
Which is nuts.
Which is crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That is actually mental. That's almost like the entire length of the Elizabeth line.
Wow.
Which is mental when you think about it. That's a huge radius. It really helped that everything was lured up, and it was expected that everybody would be luring up the city. Because, to be honest, when we got to areas where there weren't lures, the spawns, in my view, weren't actually massively boosted. The lures and the fact they were cycling sort of 1 every minute, and the Incensed was 1 every minute, that really helped boost it. But the actual city experience, when you compare it to maybe Osaka, was not as in-depth.
But look at the amount of stops in Osaka.
And then the fact that their park was tiny. But then you think about if, for example, you got the whole weekend, how much time you spend in the city versus how much you spend in the park. Technically, you could spend 5 times the amount of time hunting in the city than you could in the park. But it still didn't put a Debbie Downer on the whole weekend. I thought our little bus journey thing with the little crew we had was hysterical. The amount of people going, shiny, 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 shiny from these bus tours we were doing.
And we were getting some pretty strange looks when we were on these buses from just the random muggles that weren't playing
Eventually
GoFest.
took over the whole top deck, didn't we? The whole top deck of the double-decker bus, because we were going from Brockwell Park up to Bond Street to then be sort of in Central, and then you could get the Elizabeth line back to Ealing. And that's an hour-long or so bus journey, and you just get the spawns. It's just about the right speed. One of the best ways to play in London.
And for 3 people that don't really do public transport, I think I've ridden the bus more in the weekend than I have in the last 20 years.
I've had my annual amount, thank you. No more.
Do you know what I found funny about the whole bus experience? It was the sweet spot of speed to travel, to hatching eggs, to getting consistently dense spawns. And actually, it's amazing how attuned the buses are to stopping at the top of each hour when it's unknown.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the coincidence.
2 minutes. But the thing that tickled me the most, the biggest Pokemon on the map, everyone's going, Aerodactyl to the left.
Oh,
Aerodactyl to the right.
There's something else that we noticed on Sunday. I think you'd already left us, Milo. I think you'd been called back to your spiritual home of Brockwell Park, but we were just going, oh, Snorlax on the lure. And of course, every stop's lured. We kind of then realised that even though we were calling it out, we were still going to the right place on the map.
How good was that, though? And I know we've probably already said it, but how good was it? I mean, I remember Dortmund being out of the park and everything being spawned, lured up and all that. Sorry, and I should mention every podcast, shouldn't I? they're all active.
Moduled.
All the Pokestops are active. Yeah, they're moduled.
Lure moduled, nice.
And London was the same, wasn't it? It was the same. It was brilliant. It was so good, and a lot of people were playing the game.
There was. I saw so many cables hanging out of people's pockets. You can't hide it, guys. We know you're playing.
We know you're listening, and we know you're playing.
There was one thing that was brought to my attention when I was scrolling through the feed of X these days. And I want to talk about the eggs for the GoFest and the add-on, given that
the egg
you buy the
enthusiast.
add-on, the egg enthusiast that gave you quarter egg distance and a bunch of extra bonuses, like I don't know if it was double dust or 1.5 times dust or something like that. But it came to light once we'd heard from Osaka, because the GoFest eggs were never listed on the articles anywhere. I went back and checked. It turned out it was 7-kilometer egg only, which of course are limited. Even for the GoFest, I think we could get 40 for the first day off your main game day. And you buy the add-on, it's £8, and then you have to buy the incubators. And when you're hatching normal eggs, 2s, 5s, and 10s, they were exactly the same mons as per regular eggs in there, and they were not boosted. I personally thought that they were going to do like they did for Hoenn Tour, boosted 10 kilometer. They said boosted 10-kilometer egg drops for egg enthusiast bonus.
The 10Ks were dropping more frequently than the 2s.
But the difference was, as they said, those 10Ks for Hoenn Tour had the regionals in them and some of the new bits and pieces.
But the ones for GoFest were terrible. They were just standard
eggs.
They
were rubbish. They were just regular eggs, no boost on them at all. And then the ones that were shiny boosted because of the GoFest spawns, like the ones with Dewpider, however you want to pronounce it, or Petalil, Heracross, etc., they were 7-kilometer egg locked and you were limited. And I think that, for me, is the only negative thing about this GoFest.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't think the enthusiast adder was actually worth it for this event. Genuinely, the reduced hatch distance was nice, but if you were just purely hatching the 7Ks, you didn't need it because you were capped on how many you could hatch in a day.
Indeed, and it was already half egg distance, I think, for regular ticket holders. So you didn't really need, because you are walking a lot, and even on bus travel for the city experience, you are moving at such a pace that your eggs hatch. So egg enthusiast perk maybe not required.
No, it wasn't. I'm not a big egg hatcher. I've got to say, it was a way of earning lots of cash, even though you bought the ticket for it. They gave you quite a poor selection of Pokemon, because all of them were available in the wild, weren't they, in the 7-kilometer eggs? So, boosted shiny spawns in the wild. If you want a base stat 10 to 10 on a shiny Petalil from an egg, then knock yourself out. Don't really see the bonus in that. 10-kilometer eggs were an absolute sham. And not speak to anyone about what's available before people were buying them. I know that the events never reveal all the details till closer to it. But they did reveal a lot of information about GoFest quite soon after the tickets were released, but the egg bit was never mentioned. And I know it's an addiction for some people. They love the whole thing about eggs. Like we all love the thing about clicking wild Pokemon. I hope they're going to shine for us. No different to the addiction. The only difference is you're spending money to hatch eggs on top of what you've already paid. And that just becomes a very expensive game if you want to chase your Shundo Dewpider.
Totally agree.
From a 7-kilometer egg.
But talking about the best hatchers, come on, Mark, I've got to let you flex this one.
We'll give a little backstory to listeners. It was on the Sunday. Me and Milo were making our way over to the park. And I think we're just on our way to get some water from Sainsbury's.
We just got off the bus.
Other supermarkets are available and other drinks are also available. But Milo relayed a message to me through Ian and Francesco, and it's like, Mark, open your gifts from JT Valor.
The reason we relayed it through Milo was we'd been DMing you probably 2 or 3 times earlier that day, and you must have had your phone on Do Not Disturb.
I never have notifications on, but the message was open up the egg from JT Valor. He wants to send you an Osaka gift. And actually, I already had an Osaka gift from JT Valor in there, so I don't know if you wanted to send me another one.
Basically, we were telling him to send us all one, and we wanted to include you because we knew that you.
So he'd already sent me
in love
one.
with him.
So there was one. So when I opened it, it was from Osaka, we walked, and obviously with the egg hatch bonus, it hatched very quickly. And I'd said to Milo literally 10 minutes before that, when we're getting off the bus, I said, these Sigaliths, I haven't got anything over a 2-star.
Yeah.
These are all awful. And when I hatched it, I looked at it and went, that's the best one I've got so far. I was kind of thinking, definitely got something that might be a 3-star here. And that 3-star became a 4-star. And it was a hundo from Osaka from our boy JT. So RNG is a lovely thing, but I think it was meant to be. Thanks, JT. And it was some flex. Very, very
Nice.
happy with that.
That's the kind of gameplay elements, but boys, we did a thing at GoFest this past weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, we coined again the not so notable trainers meetup area, and we had actually more people.
Only this time, and it wasn't planned, we managed to sandwich ourselves between the Niantic Community Ambassador tent and the Notable Trainer tent as well.
Yeah.
Really, it was planned on the one side, wasn't it? We kind of knew one of our neighbours, didn't we?
It
where
was
we were
planned
based?
by the Notable Trainer tent, but we didn't
Yeah.
really pay much attention to where the Ambassador tent was. I think we'd originally planned to go to the other side, if I remember correctly, but there was picnic tables in between the two tents.
That was a blessing. We could actually sit down and put our stuff down.
And you know what? Quite a few people came to say hello, and it was actually quite nice. There's a constant stream of people throughout the 3 days that we were there.
Yeah, we were actually very surprising. It always is. You put faces and names to people who listen to the podcast or put reviews in or comment on the stuff on social
Or
media.
shinies, yeah.
Or shinies, etc. And like, oh my God, you're real, you enjoy our show. And it is genuinely still quite surprising to have people come up
It
to you and
was
sort of...
very humbling.
People were shaking,
Yeah.
coming up to say hello to us. And like, it's okay, we just sit down every Tuesday night and record the show. And it was very humbling, as Ian has said. Thanks everybody who did come up and say hello to us, genuinely. And we hope you enjoyed your stickers, a few other things.
I'm going to go a step further, and I was amazed by the amount of people that came up and spoke to us. This isn't about numbers necessarily, but there was a lot of people that came up and spoke to us. I enjoyed every single conversation representing the podcast that we had with the people that listened to the show. It was amazing. Me and Ian were having some really good conversations about it on our last night as we walked back to yours, Milo. The game allows people to share with others, and it's a safe environment. I think the point is, not once did I feel threatened in that park. Everybody that came up to speak to us were just lovely. Friends of the podcast, listeners to the podcast, anyone that spent time with us, that took photos, tweet them to us at Incensed Podcast. It'd be lovely to have a nice little album of that memory for us.
Yeah.
These are the memories that we will always remember. We can all agree, boys, there were some people that took the role of photographer. There was a lot of people that took the role of wanting to be in the photos with the people that we saw. But humbling was the word that I think I used the most. I think that was amazing. Well, guys, as a Crowded House song goes, take the weather with you. What do we think about the weather? We saw, was it 4 seasons in one GoFest?
I think we got every
What do
manner
we
of
say?
British weather you could possibly imagine. Friday was overcast but kind of dry, A-OK. Saturday was a washout.
Guys, hang on, we've got a call in.
Oh, God.
Milo, oh, God.
Hello, Incensed Podcast.
Hello, boys. It's the casual that hasn't been on, I think, like 5 weeks now, 4 weeks. How
The
long
Who?
is it?
The Who?
Who? Yeah, it's
Who is
about
this?
a month, isn't it?
Yo, listen, I know you talk about GoFest. I'm currently at work. It's been a long day, but I just wanted to just sort of ring you guys. It's not a WhatsApp message. It's actually me this time. It's the real casual Coots. I just wanted to say what an amazing weekend I had with you boys. I did only play on the Friday, but I had an amazing time with everyone and, people that listen to the podcast and was coming over and saying hello. It was amazing to meet some of you and amazing to see some of you again, as always, because I've seen a few of you before in Ealing, because that's the only place we really meet up as a podcast.
So true. So
yeah,
true.
boys, obviously, I know this is a phone call, but I love you guys loads. And yeah, thanks again for an amazing GoFest. And I cannot wait till I'm back on the podcast again, which should be next week, Ian, shouldn't it?
You're on next week, I can confirm that. But before you go, Casual Coops, tell us your best bit about the, other than spending the whole weekend with your boyfriend Daxi, what was your best bit about the GoFest?
Well, he come up to me, and he was like, "Coop, someone just called me your boyfriend. Do you know what that is? I forgot to tell you."
I didn't prep him.
I would have to say this, Milo's going to love this. It'll be my revenge on getting Sigalith, the Greece regional. that is definitely getting that. Obviously going to Greece, and then Milo and you all gave me stick. You were like, you didn't catch it, so I'm happy that I got my revenge. And I've not only got one, I've got about 45. So if anyone wants one, I can give you one.
By us going to Brixton surviving, he's made the opportunity or the likelihood of us coming to Croydon possibly quite likely now. So I just want to say
At
it's
least 1% more likely.
Well, listen, mate. Listen, let's hopefully that happens one day. I'm still going to hope, Marky. I'm still going to hope. But listen, I'm going to let you crack on. I'm going to be back next week to all the listeners. I'm still here. I'm still about. I better get back to work because I've just quickly snuck out for a break. Boys, I love you all. Enjoy the rest of the show. I'll see
Love
you
you,
next week.
Thanks for calling Casual Coops.
right.
Love you, bye.
Peace out, casual.
Bye.
Anyway, Milo, weather.
Yes, getting back to the weather of the weekend. Saturday was
A
predicted.
monsoon.
Monsoon was the word I used when we were cowering in the community ambassador tent, as were many people. The funnest memory of the Saturday I have is seeing Pikachu sheltering under trees in the distance.
But during a lightning storm, that's not really the best place to
It was
be.
Mark who summoned in the thunder, didn't you?
Mark like manifested it. Yes.
It was
Yeah.
almost, I went, it's forecast of thunder and lightning, isn't it? But I mean, as soon as I finished that moment of his word, it was like, boom. It's like, there it is.
And
There
I
it
think I
is.
can say this. I don't think I'm stepping beyond sort of our remit, but if it had got any worse on the Saturday, there was talk that they might have to delay gameplay, but luckily that didn't happen.
They would have had to replicate, what was it? Was it 2019
2019
Chicago?
Chicago on the Saturday again.
Because of the storm, yes, or whatever it was going on at the time. So good to see that didn't happen. The rain did clear and it wasn't actually as bad as was predicted in the forecast. But Sunday was a complete contrast. Sunshine was out. We did have one tiny spit of rain while we were trying to start recording some stuff. But we had every manner of weather apart from maybe snow and sleet.
That's Britain for you.
Aye.
There we are. We don't disappoint. We're predictable.
What was it? Yeah, Crowded House, 4 seasons in one day.
Anyone who travelled for the GoFest in London, you got the proper experience of what it's like to be in the UK.
You got the London experience.
Not that I feel it needs clarifying, but I will say, because it was a funny little anecdote, was that Pikachu that was cowering under the trees in the thunder and the rain wasn't the official Pikachu.
I was about to say there was an
Just get that
official
out of
Pikachu
that.
running around and an unofficial Pikachu of somebody just wearing an outfit running around.
And we were chatting, and this was the funny bit. So we're chatting, and in the corner of my eye, I can see this Pikachu, and I'm thinking it's the official Pikachu. And people are like going, "Oh, Mark, there's a Pikachu." I can see it. I'm like, okay, it's fine. As the Pikachu walked by, I heard some random guy just be recorded named Dave or something like that.
Dave the Pikachu.
Proper British name.
And I realised it wasn't the official Pikachu. It was someone called Dave dressed in a Pikachu outfit. Brilliant.
Well,
if
yeah,
you are listening to the show, you know.
If you are Dave the
person
Pikachu,
was
yes,
in
yeah.
the Pikachu, please reach out to us or leave us a WhatsApp message or something. It'd be funny to know.
Yes,
Just want to hear from you.
Please do. And weather aside, the bread in the rain sandwich, Friday and Sunday, we actually did something for the first time ever that we trialed in Las Vegas. So, boys,
Yes.
I can confirm and announce that we did a live recording that will be dropping on Global GoFest Sunday.
August the 27th, Masterful 27's birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday, Mark.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
your
you, lovely
present.
It was a very interesting endeavour to take on, really. We'd done Vegas, but Vegas was very flying by the seat of your pants kind of thing. We just sort of ran around with the microphones going, who can we talk to? And we're just going to put it at the end of the show. This was very different. We said, let's make something that is start to end, live recorded in the park. We had a slight running order, but again, knowing us, it just went off-piste real quickly. In fact, right from the start.
Right from the start, we recorded like a midpoint of the show right at the beginning.
Yeah,
and it was
when Coops rocked up with his the object that isn't the shadow, Daxi.
Yeah.
Daxi rocked up because Daxi's shadow was ushering him forwards, but I had an absolute blast, even though we were battling a few bits and pieces with the tech. Batteries were running out, trying to plan various things, and my recorder from 2013 was playing hardball.
It was. We actually lost one of the games, didn't we?
Unfortunately, yes. So one of the games is forever lost, and anybody who was present at the GoFest for a said game, hope you enjoyed it.
But might say the games were really good. I've got to give props to Hermes Ninja because she brazenly just went up to random people walking by and just dragged them, very nicely of course, to play games with us. And some of these people had never heard of the podcast, had no idea what the games were, and got fully involved and fully invested.
Yeah, which is what we were hoping this live recording would be, is talking to some people. We've got random people saying what shinies
Raisin
they
Ninja.
got. Raisin Ninja, that is very accurate, but we needed somebody to corral people to come over and show either their shinies, get involved with the game. We even had people dropping random questions. It was like live listeners' questions, which was just insane. And it was something from the early days we said we wanted to do. And we got to host it, not in a pub, we got to host it at a Pokemon GOFest.
Yeah. I mean, in the early days, we said pub, we said hot tub, but we did it at a GOFest, the biggest event.
At London GOFest.
Yeah.
The UK, Pokemon Go wise.
To start with, it was obviously a new experience for us all. We actually had visibility of these people.
And an audience as well. I mean,
and an audience as well,
yeah. People were just sat around watching us live, like our gold tier Patreon members get to do, but digitally instead. Like they were actually watching us sat across from a table at each other, 2 microphones sort of trying to hand it to one another when we wanted to talk. It was the same vibe. It was fantastic, and genuinely, I'm very much looking forward to how that show's going to turn out.
Yes, and you've got something to do next week on the plane flight to New York.
Yeah, on the plane flight to Newark. That's my Monday morning sorted.
That flight will fly by, Milo, I'm sure. But it was a sense of achievement, and like the way I described it when I got home was those who have watched the Friends bit where they do the last episode, and you see them all reunited after 20 years, I think it was. You saw behind the scenes of when they did the last Friends show, and they were all like high-fiving each other. There's quite an emotional moment there, and people are like, "This is it. This isn't it for us, by the way. We will try and do this again." Yeah, that's not the last show ever. Don't worry. But there was that sense of achievement with us. It was like that moment was an amazing moment. It was like, boys, we've just done this. We've done a thing. It was like,
and we will be getting out on YouTube and social at some point. But the 3-way high five and the mic drop was just classic.
Well, we've got nice bits of behind the scenes of us doing the live recordings, which we'd love to put up on our social media and YouTube channel, etc. So that will be coming out in the near future. But on the note of live recording, can we expect to be doing some potentially in New York?
I'm down for it. If you are, Whitfield.
I'm going to collar GoCast.
Yes, let's do it. Let's find Chris and Kyle and grab them, and maybe get a little bit of Ken and Adam in there if we're feeling a bit spicy.
Podcast 6-way.
No, maybe we'll just do 2 4-ways.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay.
So with all these things, we know that the official event is obviously very hard to organise, and from what we saw was executed really, really well. But these things aren't just about Niantic, and these aren't just about them creating the event for people to attend to. There was actually real core group, and we'll mention London's finest, alongside content creators hosting their events as well, which was spread out across each of the days that we were there. We were very sort of fortunate that they reached out to us, as with other creators, and they invited us to a couple of the events. Because of that, it kind of brought everybody together. And guys, what were your thoughts with the involvement? Let's start with London's finest at Delion and that. Really good, wasn't it, what they did?
Well, yeah, because they did events every night throughout the GoFest weekend. It would have been very stressful, especially on the Saturday night when the bar that he'd lined up started being difficult.
Yeah, so the venue fell
high
through.
Capacity numbers, yeah, so the venue fell through.
We all went to Cricket 23's social that was actually held at the finery that then kicked off and didn't want anyone in on Saturday. Which was nice and chilled and really, really nice to sort of chat to a few people ahead of all of the mayhem of GoFest over some food and drinks. But the Saturday one, I thought was a jolly good laugh. There were so many people there. Wonderful to chat with everyone.
It was chock-a-block. It was jam-packed full. Not just of creators, but just of Pokemon Go trainers that wanted to go to the event. People were all very social, chatting with each other. There was a bit of a downpour when we went outside to do a few photos, but it was awesome. It really was. It was nice to catch up with people. It was nice to talk to people that I'd had very little knowledge of beforehand. Like there was a couple of Polish YouTubers that came and said hello. Tonton Train was there. Brandon Tarn turned up. We'd got Billy, Daxi, Cricket. There was so many people there. A couple of gaming, Lando Alpha. Yeah. I could just keep going on. And it was so nice. Everyone was just chatting with each other. It was a just nice open environment.
There were many more as well. Like loads
and
loads
but many more.
The Twitch streaming side of things.
Yeah, I mean, Cushy was there, Lex Go Try was there, Diltech was there. There was so many people.
London did it well. London's finest were amazing. Not affiliated with anyone in particular. They put it all on, pulled it all together, got everybody involved in it. And actually, it wasn't about the creators necessarily. It was about the whole community coming together. That's what I liked about it the most. We were just chatting to just loads of people, chilling out with our friends, having a really good time. This probably ties in quite neatly, not for tonight's discussion, into about how Niantic work with these ambassadors and these communities and groups of people. Because they are, in essence, what brings the game alive. dive and takes it that next level.
100%. 100%.
It is becoming apparent that the ambassadors are playing a big part in the whole community going forward, and I think Niantic really want the ambassadors to take the reins and drive the local communities, and this event kind of proved that it is possible to get a good buy-in from all of the local people and people visiting.
Well, that's the thing, Ian, isn't it? Is these events sort of add to people's experiences, and I think London's finals have done a really good job at spreading the word that actually when people were talking amongst each other, there was people go, are you going to the event tonight?
Absolutely,
So
yeah, it was
a really good
present on social for a few weeks beforehand. I think the venue could have been advertised a little bit more because I think that was kind of lost in the mix of all the advertising. The venue was started to be pushed a little bit closer to the event. But yeah, all in all, absolutely great. It was a great evening. It did make for long days.
It did, didn't
This
it?
proves it that Pokemon Go isn't about just playing Pokemon Go and catching shinies. Pokemon Go is about the community and actually spending time with people and spending time with people that want to spend time with you. I love that aspect of this weekend.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that we were able to dive more into it as well. You know, it is our home GoFest. We are UK based. That was genuinely fantastic to feel part of the community and sort of feel like we were hosting something pretty awesome in the city of London.
So guys, final thoughts and all. I think for me, it was better than I expected. And I have very high expectations of these events, which is why I'm usually disappointed. It felt, for people living in the UK, a bit weird. No travel in the traditional sense of going to the airport.
Yeah, it was just like driving to London. Exactly, there was no international travel. It felt very surreal.
However, it was nice not missing that from it all. It actually ticked every box that a GoFest does, and I think the fact it ran smoothly and there was things to do around it, it felt like the really complete experience. And actually, like I said, we chose where we wanted to be based. That element made you feel like you were abroad at a GoFest, but that was the only bit that was comparable about getting the public transport to it. But no, I'm going to give GoFest London a really, really solid 9 out of 10 because I never give anything a 10 out of 10.
It's impossible to get a 10, isn't it? I never give full marks at anything. There's always room for improvement.
There definitely was, as we've mentioned a few points, and I talked about the egg thing, and that for me really was the only fly in the ointment. The park was fantastic. The city experience was nailed right. We talked only, was it last week, about the city safari stuff and how
last week,
using that to go and do stuff and go and visit the tourist places. I know plenty of people who use this GoFest to go and see the sights of the city, which is wonderful. Being a local, I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to grind the event and see what happens. You could tailor your gameplay style to this GoFest very easily. And the social events, the community aspect, I'd agree with Marky in giving it a solid 9 out of 10. One of my favourite live events I've done. I think it was handled very, very well.
Good point by Sue in the chat. Knowing London and the UK weather, Niantic probably should have put more than just 2 team tents up because Saturday people were getting drenched.
They should have had Pokemon Go ponchos ready to hand out to people.
They'd have sold them, they wouldn't have given them away.
All right, sold them for £1.
Another good point made by a few other people as well is that the Incensed podcast stepped in and delivered games at a GoFest because the games were sadly missing.
That is true. That was sorely lacking in this GoFest. They weren't, and I don't think I've seen a GoFest where there hasn't been a PA system set up and people playing games.
But still a 9.
But anyway, I suppose I will round this conversation off. I completely 100% agree with the both of you. Solid 9 out of 10. The event was near flawless. The weather is an act of God. It can't be helped, but things could have been in place to alleviate the tensions. Some of my local community in one of our WhatsApp chats were saying on Saturday, and this is true, we saw this, people were walking around, there were brollies everywhere. It was just cardies, just people walking into each other, smashing umbrellas into each other, and obviously we can't help the paths, but shelter would have been nice. But the city experience was amazing. The park experience was awesome. Without repeating what you two have said and what we've said previously, I can't really fault it. There's room for improvement, yes, but I really can't fault the planning and the execution of this. And let's just hope we did enough to get the UK another event at some point.
Fingers crossed. And since games were missing from the PA system across the team tents for the GoFest, we did a handful at the live show that you'll be hearing in 2 weeks' time. But shall we play a little bit of an OG?
It's my game. It's my game.
It very well might not be, because each of us is going to host an aspect of flex it up related to the GoFest. Let's see who comes out on top of this one. So shall we give it to Ian first?
I'm not going to ask who got the most shinies because we know Whitfield will have won that. So what I am going to ask is, one that I was trying my damnedest to get, how many shiny Dedenne did you get? And I'll start. I got 3.
Chocolate Mouse likes you.
Well, I will take your 3, Vassafal, and I will raise it by 1. I managed to get 4 of the chocolate little micey, all after I traded for my first one.
That's what happens.
So
You
Master
trade for it and then you get it.
27 is currently leading. Can Whitfield trump him?
No. I got 1 shiny Dedenne, and it popped through on Sunday morning via Incensed, podcast luck.
Popping
It's
Incense.
a nice level 1, but that was the one that was eluding me. Glad to have got 1, but yeah, coming stone dead last on this round.
Okay, you won, Mark. You're up next.
I'm not going to pick specific Pokemon. My question is, non-traded, how many 3-star shinies did you catch in the wild?
That's so spooky because I was going to pick that as well. I had that literally on my
give
screen.
over, were you?
Yeah, I had that lined up, dude. So I'll go first. So
that's weird.
Excluding the 2 trades or so I did, I managed to get 14 3-star shinies.
Wow.
I got 7 3-star shinies.
And I got 8 3-star shinies. But it doesn't matter the number you get. It's purely
So
random.
Whitfield
Well
wins
done,
this
Milo.
round.
Well, that's almost perfect because then I can do mine.
Yeah.
It's almost like this was planned.
Which it really wasn't actually, but let's say out of those 3 stars, what is your best IV shiny?
Oh, right. Okie dokie.
It was an 87% shiny Venipede.
Ooh, that little brown Venipede, nice.
Yep. Francesco was just tearing his hair out until probably.
Until he got his.
I think he actually got the family in the end.
Yeah.
My best shiny IV Pokemon was a 91%.
Ooh, wow. What was it?
It was a Hoppip.
Oh, God. That's my
I
mom.
clicked on it.
And I'm afraid the jingle that started this whole thing is going to remain because I got 496% shinies. Marky was there to witness one of them on the bus, a 96% incensed shiny Lucario.
Yes.
Mental. But we did also pick up an incensed 96 unknown, N for Noise,
Nice.
hatched a 96 Dewpider, and then the only good 10k of the whole 3 days, hatched a 96 Tortuga. Shiny.
And that's why we don't play this game.
It's my game. It's my game.
Guys, I am intrigued though, because this isn't part of the game, but we all did trades, lucky trades. I'm asking because I did have a really good one, but I'd like to know how it compared against you both. What was your best IV trade?
Oh, very interesting. So there were a smattering of really terrible lucky trades, but my best one by a country mile is the 98% shiny lucky Trico, courtesy of Charlie Lucy. So 15, 15, 14. So close to the Shundo.
Well, you love Trico, but I'm actually going to call the W on this one. I traded and got a 98% event Pikachu.
Oh, that is very good.
Ooh.
I would say you take the dub. Yes, on that one. Trump me.
I was very fortunate to do a lucky trade with my friend Graham in Plymouth. And when we did our lucky trade, he got the Shalundo Riolu, which was... And that
Wow.
moment is
Jeez,
epic.
nice,
It is
yeah.
epic when someone gets that. But I was very fortunate. I've got to thank Kerry for my amazing lucky trade. I got a 98% shiny Relicanth.
Nice.
Wow, nice.
And that was a 15, 15, 14.
You know what? I think you might actually give me a run for my money on that one because the Relicanth, being regional, is very rare.
I think you two got better trades.
I personally think the event Pikachu, because it was very rare, probably not going to appear again, is it, after GoFest?
No, after New York, it won't be around, I think.
That was good stuff. I like that.
That was so good. I see something rising in the distance.
Is that Mark's home?
What's that coming over the hill?
Is it
Mark's
Mark's pole? Jinx. Smooch him.
Oh, dear God. We didn't get it out at GoFest. So sorry, everyone that said, why didn't we do a
Mark,
live?
stop the presses. Sue's just put in the chat, and I've got to flex this on her behalf. Hundo Satchel Dactyl from Francesco won a lucky trade.
Oh, yeah, I did see that trade go down.
Wow.
That was
Yes.
very nice.
Wow.
That's
GG.
up there. So we spoke about our favourite must-have snacks whilst driving on a road trip. And we simply asked the question, which of these is your favourite? We did that. And before we go into the results, we'll have some comments. But we had 66 votes on tonight's poll, 10 retweets or reposts. Sorry, reposts. Some of our responses were Kerry Young said, now I'm not a fan of wine gums, but it has to be sweeties. Kels Lengers says, sweets all the way. Lucy Davis, mine would be Millionaire Shortbread Bites.
Oh, yes.
They are nice.
Oh, nice.
Maston says, if anyone munches Cheetos, Wotsits and touches my car with those nasty orange fingers when you're walking home.
That's you, Vasafala.
Kitty Pokemon's a lot. Oh, Jesus, you put it was auto shame here, Kate. Team cereal. I have a crunch cup for exactly this reason. That's the healthier option there. A few more. Darren Wykes has said, out of the three, I voted for the Flapjack Bites. But when we're on the road, we always have a packet of mint humbugs.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you.
Darren. Yeah, I like that.
I'm with you on that.
Humbug.
Mike says, that's Newcomb says, sweets 100%. Knack VGK, I have it on good authority that Safugly Booglidies are the best snacks whilst driving.
The what?
Safugod de Booglidies, which look like...
I thought you were going to say fugu.
What are they? We have to find them in New York.
Fish.
It looks like a pastry with almost like a custard inside. I might be wrong. It might be a
Oh,
different
that sounds
sort of
tasty.
filling. They do sound tasty.
Custard in your lap.
It's flour,
Nice.
not flour, it's like sugar, icing sugar on it as well. That's messy. That's messy.
I've got to admit, I have eaten donuts while driving, but they're not
Yeah.
jelly donuts or
Yeah,
custard
me too.
donuts. Yeah.
Pete said, wine gums over midget gems. Have a word with yourself. Del Hazardex has said, of the three wine gums, I'm powered by sugar and no mess. I Am Pyrus has put Team Cheetos. Can't wait to be in the USA next week.
Thank you, Francesco.
You boys, calm down. All right, let's talk about London here. Sneasel Claw has said, wine gums, no mess, and gives you a sugar boost. And the final two is Glamora says, as an American, what the heck are these snacks? I know Cheetos, but in the car? No. That's illegal, I'm pretty sure. Laughing out
It's not
face.
illegal.
Gummy candy and or meat sticks are the go-to road trip snack. That's a good one. Meat stick snacks. I like
To
that.
be fair, beef jerky, I'll go with that. And I appreciate everybody's opinion, but you're all wrong.
And the final one is Dreamer Pogo has put always wine gums. Well, there we go.
You're wrong
So-
as well. Yeah, you're all wrong.
You're wrong
Cheetos.
as well. So, of the 66 people who voted on the poll, in third place with 23%, we have Flapjack Bites.
I expected so.
Noise.
In second place with 32%, and according to Ian, these are the only right people in it, Cheetos.
Nosh.
And the winner with 45%, and I call that a big dub, wine gums. Thank you, everyone, because you are as right as I am, but as equally wrong as Ian thinks.
You're wrong. I'm sorry.
I like the fact that people have picked up on the orange fingers, though, because we spent that.
Yeah, we said that as well. And everyone's gone,
Who cares?
He's like,
Orange fingers, you can lick them and clean them.
Oh, you don't want to be doing that when you're driving. Oh,
do.
Ian.
You're putting your
What's wrong
saliva
with
all
you
over the
people?
steering wheel.
Seriously, what's wrong with you people?
You might as well lick the dash.
If there was Cheeto dust on it, I just might.
Oh, anyway. Oh, dear God.
Can a phone call or WhatsApp message save this, please?
Please, yes.
Send your WhatsApps now.
Okay, so we have a WhatsApp from somebody that a year and about a month ago, a lot of people spent quite a bit of time with.
Hey gents, it's Lachlan from Australia, and I'm just currently in the middle of listening to your latest episode of Incensed podcast, Pokemon GO podcast, and you're in the middle of your 7K egg rants. So I just wanted to say, Ian, congratulations on the shinies. Very jealous of you. I hatched, according to Adventure Sync, probably 150 eggs during Adventure Week and didn't get a single shiny from those 7K eggs. What I have noticed across many events in the last few years when it comes to eggs from gifts is strangely the stickers that come from gifts have the same slot as eggs. So once you max out on the stickers for an event, whether you buy them from the shop or if you get them from gifts or stops or in the wild or through other means, then it takes the stickers out of that spot in the gift and makes the eggs really, really common again. So my tip, if it's a 7K egg event and it's something that's bothering you, go out and spin a bunch of stops until you're at a really high capacity of those new stickers. And then you'll start to see the eggs going back to normal as their drop rate from gifts. Because outside of events, you already have all the seasonal stickers at your max. And that's another thing. During an event, don't send the event stickers if you're looking to get 7K eggs, because the second a sticker isn't at max anymore, you can start to receive that sticker again. Hope this info finds you well and assists in future events where 7k eggs are prevalent. And if you have the poker coins to spare, a way to sort of really increase your drop rate of 7k eggs is just to buy the event stickers. It feels horrible doing it, but you can hatch more 7ks by doing it. All the best.
Do you know what? I didn't know that. But actually knowing the way that sometimes we fear that decisions are made to maximise income, so that probably shouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Lachlan
that's
seems to
interesting.
deep dive on a lot of these things, so he's probably got a point, to be fair. I've never really thought about it that deeply, though, to be fair.
Well, no, because to be fair to you, Ian, you're quite chilled because it's not a guaranteed drop. And you're right when you say that, by the way.
It's not. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Maybe we'll see if that plays a part when there's another adventure week.
Another 7 kilometre regular. Thanks, Lachlan. That's
thanks,
actually
Lachlan.
a very interesting tip and advice.
Yeah, thanks, Lachlan. Now, not advice, but time to flex. It's time for shinies.
Shinies of the week.
I'll jump in first with one that's actually not related to GoFest London or Osaka. It's from the Glittering Gardens event, as it seems. So, Titu Pink Rider. Insane hashtag shinies of the week, like while listening to @Incensed podcast. I didn't get a greased ferret, but got these beauties. There's 3 shinies. Shiny Hoppip, Shiny Cacnea, and Shiny Dedenne. So, very nice trio shinies all in the last 24 hours. Congratulations on the Glittering Gardens event, Lark.
Absolutely. I've got a few here from the GoFest in London. Cooper 14, you screamed when you got these. The Shiny Space Duck from a raid, Shiny Satchel Dactyl, Shiny Spritzy, and the Shiny Unknown N. GG's Cooper 14.
Unknown N for noise.
Noise.
For twice.
T wasn't there.
No, that'll work.
I was very lucky to meet him during GoFest. A little shout out to Gojka. Gojka says, Saturday London GoFest was absolutely brilliant, even with the downpour. And the reason I'm mentioning it is there's a reference to listening to our podcast whilst it happened. Got to meet some excellent people, including Brandon Tarn, 91, Pogo Milo Uck, and Master Ball 27.
Ooh, check you out.
Best part was back to back. And the reason I mentioned it, Ian, it was best part was back to back Shiny Unknown I followed by exclamation mark from the same Unknown drop at the beginning of the hour.
Same
That's
drop.
Incredible.
Wow.
At 9 a.m. whilst listening to
awesome.
Incensed podcast episode 129, and he does have it there. 9 a.m. Unknown was caught I Shiny. 9:01 a.m. Unknown exclamation mark was caught. 2 in that window is so rare.
Nice.
Well done, Gojka. Lovely to meet you for the first time. And like I said, we all appreciate your support, mate. Thank you for listening to our podcast.
Thank you for listening. That is going to bring this episode of Incensed to a close. Thank you very much for listening. We really do appreciate each and every one of you spending an hour a week, or in today's case, probably close to an hour and a half listening to us. If you do want to reach out to us and flex a shiny of the week, as mentioned at the top of the show, you can do that on any of our socials, just using the hashtag shinies of the week. If you want to send us a WhatsApp message, then you can do that by storing our phone number into your phone, recording a voicemail and sending it to us through WhatsApp. And the number that you do need to store is +44 759 269 5696. And don't forget, voice messages are preferable. Now, we want to say thank you to everyone that supports the show in any way that you do. So listening to the show is enough support, but if you support us through our Patreon, then we really do appreciate that more than you know. Our bronze and silver members, you rock. Thank you for your support. And we actually had, over the weekend, a new silver tier member.
Ooh.
Welcome, Lewis Ben,
Welcome.
to the podcast patron, new silver tier member, and a special shout out, and you're going to get 2 shout outs here, to Highbone for upping their pledge from bronze
Wow.
to
They're
gold.
on the stream with us for this episode, so thank you very much.
Absolutely. And contractually, we mention our gold tier supporters because you are the guys that give us the ability to actually spend time crafting the podcast into something that sounds as amazing as this one does. So, Hermes Ninja, JB, Clifford Mert, Darby Russ, Kerry and Zachary, Connolly, ML Folk 2022, Apex _171, K Technogal, Mufti, Barside 2, JLH 1919, and our newest gold tier patron, Highbone. Thank you so very much. You really will never know how much we appreciate your support. And that's going to do it. 131 is done. We will be boarding a flight very shortly.
Boys, Good news.
What?
Oh, hey, it's one I won't be playing, but hey, good luck, you boys. Tuesday the 15th of August, we've got Stuffle Spotlight Hour, 2 times catch XP.
Are you going to be going for your third shundo?
No, I won't. I've got better things to do. But I hope you get your second one.
Wait for its Gen 10 evolution.
Yeah.
And on that terrible disappointment, we'll catch you next week with a special New York special, because we'll be at GoFest in New York City. Thank you for listening.
I choose you!